Well, g'day everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We've got something exciting to share with you today, so why don't you go get yourself a cold drink, get your feet up for the next 10 to 15 minutes or so, come and find out what it is. Hi, I'm Steve.
And I'm Alison.
We decided a couple of years ago that we'd work hard and save all of our money and start living life on our own terms.
So we bought a caravan and hit the road on a trip for two all around Australia.
So why not come and join us every week for our adventures? Well, here we are doing exactly what we love doing, and that is free camping in beautiful locations. This week we're on the banks of Lake Clarendon in southeast Queensland, and it is absolutely beautiful here. The longer that we can stay here, the happier that we will be. If you watched one of our videos recently that spoke about our car and caravan setup, at the end of it we spoke about things that we'd like to upgrade to in the future, and one of those things was to increase our battery level or our battery size. And we weren't quite sure how we're going to go about that other than just buy bigger batteries to put inside the caravan. But then the people at BLUETTI Australia contacted us and asked us if we wanted to try their latest product to market, their AC240 Power Station, and we jumped at the chance because we've been looking at BLUETTI products for quite a while now, and we absolutely love them, and we've seen everybody else who's got them absolutely loves them, and we thought, why not? So today we're going to introduce to you the AC240 Power Station, and here it is. Righto, so I'm going to take it out of the box in a second and I'll show you everything that's inside. Well, here it is out of the box, the all-new BLUETTI AC240 Power Station. I've got to tell you, it looks really good and it feels really solid, but we're going to put it to a test very soon. Inside the box, you'll get your AC240 Power Station. You get a carry bag that carries all of your charging cables. So there's a number of options to charge your BLUETTI AC240, 240 volt, 12 volt, and solar, which is absolutely fantastic. And the other thing you get, and this is the part you don't want to lose, is your grounding screw. And I'm going to just put that somewhere safe for now. Warranty card, and of course a book of instructions. Before we get on to today's review, I'll just let you know how we're going to do this. We're going to do it in two parts. So today I'm going to show you the features of the AC240, and we're going to put it into operation. We'll show you how you charge it, the different options for charging and how that works for us, how we store it inside of our caravan, and the sorts of appliances we're going to run. In fact, I'm going to try and run the entire van off this today, and we'll see how it goes. And then in about a month's time, Ali and I are heading out west. We're going out into the outback again, and we're going to put it to the test out there when we run it through the dust and the rigours of the outback, because this is designed to be water resistant and dust proof, and we're going to find out in about a month's time how good it goes. Rightio, just before I fire the unit up, I thought I'd go over a couple of specifications about the BLUETTI AC240 Power Station. The sorts of things that I'd want to know if I was purchasing this unit today as a caravaner or full-time traveller on the road. And I think first and foremost on all of our minds is how much does it weigh? Well, I can tell you that this unit weighs 31 kilos, which does sound quite heavy because it is. But put into context, if I'm carrying a popular brand of generator, and let's say that's a 2.2 kVA, the average weight of one of those generators is about 21 kilos, plus the additional fuel that I need to carry to power the generator. So let's assume that I carry a 10 litre jerry plus my generator. That's going to bring me up to 31 kilos. If I carry any more fuel, then it's going to take me over 31 kilos. So I think all things being equal, a generator or a power station like this weigh about the same in the grand scheme of things. All right, next up, how big is it? All right, I did run the tape measure over this, and I know in the book that it gives you the actuals, but to give you broad terms, from top to bottom, it was about 400 millimeters. Across, it was about 400 millimeters, and the depth of it was about 260 millimeters. And once again, put into context, that's about the same size as a 2.2 kVA generator, and it fits perfectly inside your generator box if you got one. And that's exactly where Ali and I carry this one. And finally, the last question I'd ask is, what's me bang for buck? How much power am I getting out of this? Well, I can tell you that this has a 1,536 watt hour lithium battery inside, and it generates 2,400 watts of power. But that's not all. If you need more power, then you can attach up to 4 B210 BLUETTI battery packs to this unit, run them in parallel, and that will get you over 10,000 watt hours of power. That's bloody incredible. All right, so let's not muck around any longer. Let's get on and see what it does. Okay, for this afternoon's test, I've decided that I'm going to bring the AC240 inside so that we can show you what sort of power draws and things that we're using. Ordinarily you wouldn't have it in here because, as you can see, it takes up a lot of valuable bench space inside the caravan. We normally store ours outside in our generator box, which is in our toolbox on the front. So if you've got one of those, it's a great place to store it. Just make sure that you strap it down, but I'll cut in some footage and show you how we store it. Before I turn this on, because the next thing that happens once I push that button is I'm going to get 240 volt power into the caravan. I need to make sure my inverter's off. So just quickly go up and turn our inverter off. Done. Back to the AC240. All I do is I just push the AC button for AC power. It comes on and just illuminates green to tell me it's done it. I should be microwave go beep in a second. There it goes. And that means I'm now getting 240 volt electricity through the caravan, and it's all coming through the AC240 power station, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Just pop the camera down now and have a look to see what our in-feed is on our battery management system. Alright, so at the moment we're pulling in 62 amps of power. Now we have a AC charger in here which is 60 amps, so that 60 amps is coming from here. We're probably just getting a little bit of solar because it's late in the day. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to plug in a few products here. We're going to use all of the functions that's on the AC240, and let's just see what it can do in normal day-to-day life inside the caravan. So at the moment, running, obviously our fridge is going, that goes all of the time. Behind us we've got our Sirocco fans going because it's quite warm inside the caravan at the moment, and just the normal power, I've got some lights and stuff on, so we're not using a great deal. But if you have a look here, it's telling us at the moment that our DC output, and this is these two here, the DC and the USB, there's nothing in those at the moment, and I wouldn't expect to see anything. But because we're charging the caravan at the moment, charging the caravan batteries, we've got 1,000 watts of power heading out. But remember, the AC240 has a maximum output of 2,400 watts, so well within its capability. So let's plug in a few things and see how we go. So first things first, I thought I'd start with some 12 volt products. We had a quick look around the caravan. We've got a television set, and we've got a fan and a couple of other assorted things inside of the car. I'm just going to plug the fan in today. So to do that, just your SIG socket. Obviously it's going to go into the 10 amp socket. Just push it, make sure it's seated all the way home, and just hit your DC. Now what that does is obviously it's going to turn our fan on, but if you have a look here, now you can see there's a current draw that's happening on our DC output, and the DC output also applies to our USB. So the next thing that I've got is our iPad. I'm just going to pop that on top of the power station and plug it in. Alright, so USB-C, in it goes and on, and away goes the iPad, and you can see there's been a slight increase in the watts going out. So at the moment we're running the caravan itself, we've got the batteries being charged, I've got a couple of appliances plugged into the power station, and we're only drawing in total about 850 watts of electricity, which is pretty good. Alright, I'm not going to draw this out, I'm not going to build the suspense, I'm going to go straight to the big ticket item that everybody asks you questions about when you're on the road. How long can you run your aircon for? Well, we're about to find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit our aircon. Now remember, at the moment the power station is still charging the caravan. It's got about 4 or 5% to go there. We're at 49% of power. I'm going to bang this bugger on, let it start up, and let's see what it does. So just bring the camera now. At the moment you can see our draw's about 847 watts and rising slightly. That's because it fluctuates with the solar that's outside, and that will build now that I've turned the air conditioner on. Now we're going to run our aircon at 19 degrees, which is a reasonable sort of temperature, or a lot lower than where Ali and I would normally run it. We normally run it at about 23 or 24 degrees when we're off grid. And out of our batteries here in the caravan, we get about 3 to 4 hours of constant use of those, but it does deplete those batteries quite quick. So we're quite interested to see how this behaves or goes under that sort of load. Alright, the aircon's been running now for about 5 or 6 minutes. It's definitely up and it's pumping out a lot of cold air. Our power station is sitting at about a 1600 to 1700 output, but that fluctuates because obviously we've still got power going to our batteries and other things are being powered inside the van, and we are still picking up a little bit of solar. But I tell you what, this is well within the parameters of what this power station's able to pump out, and we're able to run all of these things. There's only one thing for it. I'm getting the toaster out. All right, I think we're going to put it at the ultimate test now. It's toaster time. So at the moment, we've still got current running into our batteries. There's still a little bit more before they charge. Air conditioner is still running at 19 degrees, and it's getting quite nice inside here, and it's running all of those things no problems. All of our other 12 volt and all the other stuff inside the van is going, but I think the toaster might break the camel's back. So it's going to pop that on now. We've got 37% of charge left. On it goes. Straight away, our wattage out has jumped straight up over 2300, and I think, oh, it's 24, so we're now at the maximum wattage output of this power station. We've gone to 25. I'm starting to get a few warning lights in the bottom here, but we'll stick it out and see how long it goes for, because BLUETTI asked us to test this to the maximum. So let's see how it goes. We're at 2700 watts, so we're 300 above our 2400 maximum output, and it's still climbing. So this is going bloody gangbusters at the moment. All right, one thing I am noticing though, the state of charge is dropping faster than, I don't know, last Saturday night's Powerball, because it is absolutely falling now. It's telling me we've got about a tenth of an hour to go. One thing I will say about the BLUETTI power station is I can run this down to a 5% state of charge. In other words, I've got 95% usage of the battery that's built inside of this. That's bloody really good, because when you consider lithium batteries will only normally work down to about 20%, and lead acid batteries normally only run down, or AGM batteries run down to about 50%. I can run this all the way down to 5% and still use it, and then throw it on and charge it either through my 240 volt or through my cigarette lighter in the car. All right, well, we're still cooking toast, so I'm very, very happy about that. The thing is, it's almost dinner time and no one's having toast tonight, so we'll just have to see how we go with that, but we're getting close. We're now down at around 2500 watts, so we're still above our 2400, and it's still pumping along very, very nicely. Just about done, almost at 3000 now, so she's really starting to ramp up. Gone over 3000, just touched anyway. There's the toast cook, and everything's just gone off. So as soon as the toast popped, that was the end of it. It's cut it all out. I can see my AC light flashing there, so I'm just going to turn it off. Done and done. Let's let it sit for a second, get its wind back, and then we'll fire it up again without the toaster this time. All right, so if it does overload, to reset it, all you need to do is, once you've turned it off, just turn it back on again. There we go. Now that'll put power straight back into the caravan because it's still charging. I'd have to put the air conditioner back on, but you can see it's settled down now to a more normal cycle for AC power. We're sitting at around that 900 to 1000 watts being used. So that was quite exciting. So I'm going to show you the reverse side now. We've used our BLUETTI AC240 power station to charge the caravan. As you saw, it's gone back to 100%. Now I'm going to use some of that power to recharge the power station. So to do that, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. I'm going to use 240 here inside the caravan. I'll get Alison to bring the camera in a little bit closer so you can see the sockets here. Our AC input is found on the right hand side, just in behind there, and the other one is our DC input. So the DC input would be if you're using your cigarette lighter to charge it, or you're running your solar panel into it. But as I said before, we're going to use this. Now, what I think is really clever that BLUETTI's done, and anyone who four-wheel drives knows, that when you drive over corrugations and those sorts of things, plugs have a tendency to fall out, particularly out of fridges and all that sort of gear. What they've done here, this has got an auto lock device on it. So when I pull that up and place the plug in, and it's a one-way plug, I'll only go in one way, and I place it, just bring the camera over the top out so they can see, and you push it, just watch the blue lever. It turns and it locks, and now that's solidly in place, which I think is great innovation, because that's not going to fall out when I'm trundling up the road at 80k an hour, particularly across the corrugations of somewhere like Cape York or maybe even the Gibb River Road. All right, so we've plugged the AC240 power station into our caravan now, and we're charging it through our inverter, and you can see that the input wattage is about 827%, and I'll just cut in a picture here of how much wattage that we're actually using to charge the BLUETTI. And the other thing that's important to know is that it's going to take about 1.7 hours to come back to 100% charge. Remember I said at the start of the episode that you could get this back to 85% in about 45 minutes. through turbocharging it in the app. So let's open up the app and see how that happens. All right, one thing I find really cool is when you get apps and you get apps that work, and BLUETTI seems to have a really good app for their power station. So I'm just going to open it up now and show you what it looks like. Just going to jump into offline mode, and straight away it'll come up with your available devices, because I've already Bluetoothed this device to my phone. I'm just going to click on it to open it. And then it gives me the same reading as what I'm getting on my LED screen on the power station at the moment. I've got 828 watts coming in. Now just remember that 828 watts, because that's about to change. As I said to you a little bit earlier, if you need to recharge fast, you can get this back to 85% of its state of charge simply by putting it into turbocharge mode. And to do that, just up here next to your power station number, just open the little box, come down here to charging mode, open it up. You'll see there's three selections there: standard, silent and turbo. I'm just going to push turbo. The mode's changed to turbo. We'll go back to the home screen. Remember before we were pulling 820 watts to get in. Now I'm pulling 1.8 kilowatts to do the same thing. But the battery charge time is now reduced down to less than an hour to bring it back to that 85%. So if you find yourself at a time when you really need to get some power back into your power station, this will be a very quick and effective way to do that. But I think for Ali and I, we probably just need to leave it in its standard mode, because we've got plenty of time. Well, come to the end of the day. I've walked out here to check out the sunset. This is a beautiful location here at Lake Clarendon where we're staying. I've brought our AC240 power station out to the car, and I've plugged it into our SIG socket. I do have them in the caravan, but I want to see what the difference was when it was coming out of the car. The draw in the car, or on our 100 amp lithium battery in the car at the moment, is about 8 amps from the AC240, so that's not too bad. Our fridge draw is about 6 at the moment. I've got a total of about 14 amps going out, so I couldn't charge it all night. But if I was driving around throughout the course of the day, as we do when we're camping, I just have this plugged in while we're going. It's always charging while we're on the road. Well, that's it for part one of our review of our BLUETTI AC240 power station, and I've got to say I'm excited for part two, which we'll do in about a month's time or so when we get this thing out west and we see how it really performs in the dirt and the dust and the corrugations that we're all familiar with when we go out and we camp in those areas. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I think today, we gave it a genuine test. I've got to say, right out of the box, this is a very, very easy product to use. Just come out, turn it on. It's already got some charge in. In our case, I think it popped up at about 50 to 60% somewhere in there. So you can use it immediately outside the box. I see so many positives for this. I think it replaces a generator. And the reason I say that, it was able to power our caravan, our air conditioner, even run a toaster there for a little while, and all the other loads inside the caravan. Now, admittedly, it couldn't run it for as long as a generator, but I can recharge this very, very quickly, as we saw, in under 45 minutes. So I think that's a definite advantage. And also, it's just good, clean energy. There's no fuel involved in this, there's no fumes, and most importantly, for those who hang around generators, there's no noise, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. So this is what I would pick over the top of a generator any day of the week. So if you're interested in picking yourself up a BLUETTI AC240 power station, I'm going to drop in the description below a link. Just hit the link and follow it through. It'll take you straight through the shop, and you can check out all their other products they have online there. But yeah, I've got to say, this is an absolutely fantastic product, and everybody who walked past today while I was filming wanted to know what it was. We sat down, we had a talk about it. Everybody loved it. Everyone was going out to buy one because they just see so many advantages with this, particularly as we move towards cleaner sorts of energy. Anyway, we'll see you next time with our BLUETTI somewhere out in the west.